Hello fans, I'm Kevin Pine, thank you for joining us. Now, Jackie Calloway has two stories that I want to share with you guys today. One is about a car rental company that charges you more for optional insurance that you did not originally want to buy. We'll get to that later at the end of the show. And there's also a story that she did about rent drop boxes and how thieves can actually get a makeshift device and steal the money orders and checks that people would pay rent with, which is why I recommend that you actually pay in person. We'll get to those stories a little bit later. But first, I want to talk to you about a man who was arrested because of not only his name, but also his date of birth. Now, I want you to understand this. It's not your fault that your name's the same as that other person. Let's make that clear. But the only way they find out is by making the arrest in question. But the mugshot, as well as the social security number, would be the only way to clear up any confusion. And Chris Betts has the story about why I'm mentioning this to you today.
On December 13th, former Navy Lieutenant Grant Martin had just moved back to Texas to attend flight school.
Within 12 hours of being here, I got a knock on the door the next morning.
At the door, a Hutto police officer who questioned him about his truck outside.
I didn't have a front plate. They said, "Is that your vehicle?" I said, "Yes." And they asked for some identification.
Martin had a Florida license, but his name and date of birth matched a Williamson County arrest warrant for auto theft.
They confirmed the name and date of birth were identical to what was on the warrant.
Martin was immediately arrested.
And I've never been in the back of a cop car handcuffed before in my life.
And booked into jail.
I told her she was making a mistake, and she goes, "I'm just doing my job."
Hutto police confirm they arrested the wrong man.
This was not the Mr. Martin that we were looking for, but his identifying information matched what was on the warrant.
Now, Martin wants to get his bond money back.
Yeah, $500.
And clear his record, but that will cost even more.
Investigator from the DA's office told me it was going to be anywhere between $800 to $1,300 to get it expunged.
He's also worried that an arrest and mugshot will hurt his future flying career.
Potential airline companies, that I want to work for, they pull up, my record and they see an arrest.
Martin says he reached out to Williamson County multiple times with no luck.
I was trying to call DA's office and get them to kind of fix the problem, and so far I'm just hearing crickets. So
we went directly to police to see what they could do.
So we've reached out to him as a result of being contacted by you all, and we're willing to work with him to clear up any misunderstanding that was.
Martin says he's thankful someone is paying attention.
Then he sounded, very willing to just kind of right the wrong.
And just wants to get back to life before this false arrest.
And now I want to turn your attention to the Dropbox story that I discovered earlier today. And I gotta say, thieves are figuring out a way to steal the money that you paid the rent with, and then you don't know about it until after you've been confronted and asked why you didn't pay the money to begin with. Take a look at this.
They hit fast and in the dark of night.
I had no idea what I was going to do.
These burglars strike rent drop boxes at apartment complexes and mobile home parks.
You can't tell who they are.
Hillsborough Sheriff's Corporal Bruce Crumpler suspects multiple organized rings are behind the burglaries. It's a low-tech crime that yields easy money. Makeshift devices coated with sticky substances are used to steal checks and money orders.
We never had this amount of crime in the same way at the same time, with the same MO without it being organized.
In just the last 5 months, the I-team found rent drop box thieves hit a total of 52 apartment complexes and mobile home parks. 48 of the break-ins took place in Hillsborough County. Another 4 occurred in Lakeland.
I said I pay my rent. I dropped it in the box.
For tenants like Marjorie McCaddy, the fallout can be both costly and stressful.
I came and I dropped it in the box like I always did.
In some cases like Marjorie's, the landlord demands the tenant repay the $764 rent plus late fees or face eviction.
And it's still upsetting for me. I don't sleep.
The stolen money orders and checks, which range from $400 to $800, are sent out of state to be washed, forged, and cashed. Here's a copy of Marjorie's original money order. She wrote Rose Harbor Apartments on the payee line, which was later altered.
So our biggest effort right now is to try to stop it before it even gets bigger.
Central Dugard lives at the Marquis Apartments in Tampa, where surveillance video caught the crime on tape. Investigators say burglars altered and cashed her money order for March's rent in Las Vegas. Still, her landlord demanded she pay again.
There was a note 2 days later that was taped to the door saying that we had 3 days to pay or relinquish the property.
In all 48 cases, only one arrest has been made. Deputies charged Colbert Valson Jr. April 17th after they say he cashed 2 money orders stolen from the St. Croix apartment complex. Investigators are working to determine whether he was involved in any of the other cases. I contacted 24 of the targeted apartment complexes, including this one. 9 of them tell me that they have replaced their old drop boxes with new, more secure ones. 5 say they've gotten rid of the boxes altogether. Meanwhile, Bay Area Legal Services attorney Martin Lawyer warns tenants to avoid the use of all rent drop boxes.
The best thing is to pay in person and get a receipt, even if it's cash.
And when we come back on the Kevin Piland Show, Jackie Calloway has a story about companies like Avis and Budget, for example, the car rental companies that have had lawsuits filed against them because of unauthorized charges. Stay with us. And I need to acknowledge an unfortunate mistake that I made during my last episode of the Kevin Piland Show. On a previous episode of the Kevin Piland Show about the guy who got fired for using bad language, I was showing you guys a video of a woman who made the same mistake at a TV station out in New York. I accidentally said the Fox station, but it was actually the NBC station in New York City. It was WNBC, and I sincerely apologize for this error. Now that I got that out of the way, I want to show you the second story that Jackie Calloway did. Take a look at this.
Frequent rental car users like Dr. Alan Friedman know the drill.
I've never had problems with that before.
Not until he says he arrived at the rent-a-car counter during a trip to Denver in 2011.
They attempted to upsell me. I wasn't surprised at that.
Alan claims he denied the optional insurance and all extras. 9 days later, he returned the car and discovered a $215 charge for insurance and another $53 for roadside protection on his bill.
I called Dollar customer service right away, and I gave them the rental number, and I said, I believe there's a mistake.
But this customer claims Dollar Rent-A-Car refused to remove the fees that effectively doubled his bill.
You're going to decline any of our protection.
Alan, who's from Sarasota, did not complain to the state, but we discovered plenty who did. The I-Team combed through reports filed with the Attorney General's office in the last 2 years. We found more than 180 against Dollar or Thrifty, which are owned by the same company. Most involved optional insurance charges and fees for unpaid tolls. In comparison, we found a total of 42 complaints against Budget Avis rental cars. Former employee Jamal Powell worked at Dollar's Tampa airport office. He described a sales-driven culture and commission structure that rewards agents who upsell optional items.
As long as you sell the insurance, you're good to go.
Jamal says he spent 18 months at Dollar before being let go. He showed us what he says is the company's training manual. On page 31, it instructs employees to disclose what is on the screen. Jamal says customers may have signed off on charges they verbally rejected, but the agent did not physically remove.
They really have to read the screen, and if they see it on the screen and they tell them to take it off and it pops back up, tell them to take it off.
I told the gentleman that I didn't want the insurance, and he said okay.
Gordon Wong admits he did not read the fine print on the keypad at Dollar San Diego branch. He too got hit with the optional insurance.
This one just states that you are assuming full financial responsibility for the vehicle.
The I-Team, along with Scripps stations across the country, rented more than a dozen cars from Dollar or Thrifty. A third of the time, the agent asked us more than twice about purchasing additional insurance. We were never charged for it. We were only charged for what we agreed to.
And are you going to be the only driver?
Yes, I am.
Consumer complaints regarding unauthorized charges triggered lawsuits against Dollar Thrifty in Colorado and California. And now Florida's Attorney General has opened its own investigation for alleged violations of the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act as it relates to charges and fees for optional items.
This isn't what I asked for, and no, I won't let it go.
The Attorney General confirms it's also investigating Budget Avis rental car over the same allegations. We asked Dollar Thrifty's corporate office in Tulsa about the complaints. In an email, a spokesperson responded, "We do not typically comment on pending litigation. However, we can say that Dollar Thrifty complies with all laws and denies allegations that it sells customers products they do not want. The company intends to defend the cases vigorously."
And I want to thank you guys for watching the show. Now, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and like The Kevin Piland Show Facebook page. And you can also subscribe to my account on YouTube. Just search Kevin Piland. And that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Kevin Piland, host of The Kevin Piland Show. Thank you for watching.